in the Vedic perspective, we see the universe as being, hugely populated. It's not just us. There is 400,000 humanoid species, I think it mentions.
Yeah, 400,000 different humanoid species, that's correct. Yeah.
Across the universe. So, yeah, so I think you've mentioned in one of your videos, and I also agree that this doesn't fit in with the idea that life came from chemicals or from matter. If that was the case, obviously that is only Earth-based. So how would we explain this otherwise? Like, in what would you define as alien? Because right now, when a normal person would think of an alien, they think of big head, big eyes, skinny body. But what would you define as aliens to start off with?
Okay, really, really good question. Again, this 400,000 human species thing that we find in the Vedas and the Puranas is something which it was a bridge I needed to cross to try to understand that, because are we talking about 400,000 different human species that we see today? I mean, do you know 400,000 different human species? And I don't. I know about 10 or 20 maybe that's on the earth, even if you include Bigfoot or Sasquatch or all the different tribes. Still, 400,000 seems to be very large. And again, you get into alien identities and you link it with ufology, for example, and you begin to realize actually Prabhupada is purporting about other planets as well. Now, the definition of alien, first of all, what do I count as alien and what is not alien? The definition of alien is extraterrestrial, which would mean, I guess you could say, would refer to any intelligent, or actually even not non-intelligent, any living being that is outside of the Earth's atmosphere. So therefore, if they found some worm, for example, in the mud on Mars, that would count as alien, would it not? However, like you said, the Vedas is describing intelligent species, human-like species, throughout the universe, and that's an immediate challenge to evolution, as you mentioned there, because how is it that this anthropod, one head, two arms, two legs, our form basically, can be replicated in other worlds by accident on another planet as well? I mean, it doesn't make any sense unless you bring in interplanetary travel. And as soon as you bring in interplanetary travel, then you've got to bring in the fact that our origins could be from other planets, and thus challenging theory of evolution. On every level, theory of evolution is surrounded here, and it's cornered, actually. And there are other arguments, of course, against the theory of evolution, and I'm not saying it's completely incorrect in every respect, because we do say that, if, for example, we're a lot taller than we were 500 years ago on average around the world. So, but that's not change of species, that's change of characteristics within a species. But there is change. So, yes, what most people think of aliens as being like ET or Greys, something which is not very much like us, and yet, even within popular stories that you hear about abductions and all these things, I'm not saying every single story is true, but relating to those stories, not only are the googly-eyed aliens, or whatever, that are prominent features, but actually what they call the Nordics as well feature in these stories, or humanoid forms which are a lot more similar to ourselves. Again, a slap in the face to evolution. So really, different people in different cultures have different definitions of alien. Of course, what we actually mean is something which is not one of the terrestrial-based, Earth-based species that we are familiar with. Now, out there in the Vedic universe, with 400,000 different species to ponder over, that would include the what I would regard as perhaps the demoniac type, the grey type, but it will also include the Nordic type, and that figure would also include the divine and the demoniac as well. or as well as rakshasas or vampires and all these things. So the idea is that all these things sound mythological, and many stories probably are. But however, is it not based on some ancient knowledge, some ancient intelligence that has passed itself down through scripture, through word of mouth, and through tradition, that is telling us that actually it's not our origins as a species, or many, whichever species we're talking about, is not basically quite as simple as what evolution would suggest.